The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
You're listening to CFRN, a community.
Welcome to the webinar. You have entered as an organizer and may now speak to any other organizers or panelists on the line. When you are ready to begin the presentation, press the Start Broadcast button on the GoToWebinar control panel to allow all attendees to hear you. This system will notify you once you begin your broadcast.
You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If on the other hand you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Bork. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Friday, 6th day of December, 2019. Thanks so much for joining us, whoever you are, wherever you are. We're just glad to have you right here, right now. If you can't see the screen I have up, go to our homepage at CFRN.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered in about 30 seconds, and that will give you one-click access to the show each and every day. Now, there will be days you're out of the office, away from the desktop. Not to worry. Point any internet-connected browser to cfrn.net/live, and there you'll find a live, real-time simulcast of the show as it unfolds, brought to you by the good folks at YouTube. Thanks, YouTube. Okay, big day in the markets. What's some beautiful two-sided activity we've had all week. Let's bring up a chart, talk about it briefly, then we'll go to Michael and get a recap of what happened in the room this morning. Now, today's a very busy day for us, along with this radio broadcast at 4 p.m. Eastern. We're having a special edition Emini Q&A webinar. This was designed, created primarily for those who've been with us on the free trial for the incredible week we've just experienced. However, if for some reason you were not able to attend the trial, you're still invited to come to the webinar this afternoon. I'm going to go over all of the alerts so far this week. That will be the end of the week when we have the webinar. I counted last night, and we've published over 70 alerts this week. And here's the truth about markets. 20% of those did get stopped out. I want to walk you through the alerts, and then I'm going to answer all of your questions. Whatever they are, however long it takes, we'll be there till we're done. Let me give you the numbers from around the world real quick as I bring up this chart. I'm going to take you to a daily chart for starters. if I have one, what I do, oh, I know what I did. All right, well, we're going to take this, make it a daily. We're going to make it an ES, S&P 500 Emini Futures, the most liquid contract in the futures universe. Now, from the daily perspective, when we have a bullish cross and price gets above the BBC, and that just stands for bull bear cross. When we're above it, we anticipate higher prices. When we're below it, we anticipate lower prices. It's that simple, and that is simple by design. Now, price always reverts to the mean. And in our case, the mean is always the BBC. Has been since we started. Now, price, when it reverts to the mean, the BBC, we expect the BBC to provide good support. And as you can see here, it did. Once we establish good support, the next high probability move is back up to the CFMA1, which in this case happens to be red and falling. As we discussed yesterday, that could present an obstacle because the true mission of the market right now is to go up and challenge this all-time historic high. Now, that's a big deal. As we close in on that number, and that number is 31.55. No, right here, 31.58. We're currently at 31.49. It's about a 9-point window overhead. At $50 a point, that's a potential profit of $450 per contract traded. For our traders who have earned the right, one at a time, to trade 10 contracts, it's almost a $5,000 move. That's not a prediction, it's not a prophecy, it's not a forecast. It's much more than all of that. It is the next logical, high probability move for the market. Now, does that mean that's what it's going to do? No. Because see, if I could make that statement, that would mean I could tell the future. And back in the garden, when God created Adam, he put all sorts of cool stuff into Adam, but he left out some perhaps key ingredients. He did not give Adam the ability to change the past, nor did he give him the ability to know the future. And those two are inextricably linked for eternity. I know there are a lot of websites out there in the trading arena that do promise you that they can in fact tell the future. But I'm here to tell you, they can't. If you simply flip a coin, from a probabilistic standpoint, you should be right at least 50% of the time without even trying. But if you've ever tried it, especially with trading, you know it doesn't always work out that way. Now, knowing what the next high probability move is, that's using the good sense God gave you to analyze the market in a logical manner. To say that I actually know with certainty what's going to happen next, that would be an insult to you, and even worse, that would be an insult to God. Because I would be telling you that I can do something that He did not give us the ability to do. All right, I'm going to stop here with this daily chart. I got so much good stuff to show you. We had a lot of great things happen overnight. As you know, we start Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern. We keep the pedal to the metal until Friday afternoon, 5 p.m. Eastern. We're able to do that because we trade futures, and futures trade around the clock. If you're still wearing that ball and chain, the 9:30 to 4, Monday through Friday, clock in, clock out kind of lifestyle, there's a different way. And for those of us who do what we do, we think it's a better way. Because we can do what we do from anywhere on planet Earth as long as we have a fast, reliable internet connection. If I wanted to wake up Monday morning in Paris and trade, I could. If I wanted to wake up Monday morning at the orphanage in Kampala, I could. Except I don't have a fast, reliable internet connection there, so that won't be happening. But I hope you see the possibilities there. People always want to be traders because of the money. Okay, that's a true thing. You can make or lose more money than you ever dreamed of. You can have freedom like you've never dreamed of. But you know what? Some people don't do good with that freedom. Here's why. All of their life, from grade school to wherever you are now, somebody has told you when to get up, when to go to bed, when to eat, when you can go to the bathroom, when to go to work, when to clock in, when to clock out, etc., etc. And a trader, once they achieve consistent profitability, realize they got a whole lot of free time on their hands. Here's 2 things you don't want to do. Number 1, don't do anything stupid. And this kind of relates to number 2. Don't just lay on the couch all day and watch Springer. No. See, God is willing to bless you not only in this life with treasure, if you show him you can handle it, if you show him you can be trusted in the little things, but he'll also bless you with something that is not a renewable resource. You see, treasure, money, as long as you've got good health, you can always go out and make some more money. When's the last time you whipped up a batch of time? Yeah, nobody's quite perfected that recipe yet. So friends, we got to make not only every day count, we got to make every moment count, because we're on a mission. We have an assignment. You and I together, we are changing the world. We are building God's kingdom, one tick at a time. Now let me give you those numbers I promised from around the world, and then Michael will pop in, give us a recap of everything that happened this morning. Our live room is open to our traders every trading day from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Take a 30-minute break. Then we come to the live show. But our Telegram channel, where you receive your trading alerts, well, that's open 24/7. Hence the name Logic 247. All right, starting in the U.S., the Dow is currently up 331 points. That's a gain of a little over 1%. NASDAQ up 86 points. That's a gain of 1%. S&P 500 up 31. Again, a gain of 1%. And the Russell leading us to the upside, up 21 points on the session. That's a gain of over 1.25%. In the commodity basket, crude oil up 70 cents, trading 59.13 last. That's a gain for crude of almost 1.25%. Gold taking a breather, down $17.70, trading $14.65.40 last. And that's a drop of a little over 1%. In the Asian markets at the close, Nikkei posted a gain of 54 points. Shanghai gained 12. The Hang Seng added 281 points. That's a gain of a little over 1%. And last but not least, in the European markets, FTSE finished the week with a 101 point gain today, 1.5%. DAX finished up the week 111 points on the day, almost 1%. And the CAC up 70 points. That's a gain of 1.25%. That gives us a green day in Asia, green day in the UK, and so far it is a big green Radio Friday here in the US of A. Let's go to Michael. Let's get that recap. When I come back, we'll talk to John. We'll take a look at the Concierge Trade Alerts. We'll look at the Logic 247 alerts. I'll answer all of your questions, and we'll talk a little bit about that webinar we're going to have this afternoon. And I have some other really special news. If you follow me on Facebook, you've already seen it, but we'll all talk about it when I come back. Michael, I have your charts.
Okay. Excellent.
And it's all yours.
All right.
I will be here when you're done.
Okay. I got this. Here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Friday, the 6th day of December, 2019. If you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, go to the home page at CFRN.net. Over here in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net. Click on that, and you'll be brought to this page. On this page, eminitrainingschool.com, you could just go directly to this page if you want to. All we ask for is your name, your email, your phone number. Hit the register now button. Once you hit the register now button, you will be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link, okay? Because we don't know you took the free trial until you do that. Hang on. Here we go. The spreadsheet. Everybody wants results. Today, sadly, we had a blue day. That means I got the goal for the day, but I gave it all back and ended negative. Okay, today we were +4 on crude and -8 on gold. And I missed so many trades on crude. Wait till we get into that. You see what I missed. Pop the question box up. All right. And today it took 24 minutes and 1 trade to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $100 a contract, and we took a total of 6 trades. So on the month now, we're at 577.50. That's over 5 days, averaging 115 per day. And on the year, we were up $34,412. That's over 222 days, averaging 155 per day. Okay. So we're having kind of a rocky start to the month. We had 3 good days right in a row. Then we had a yellow day and a blue day. And I'm going to go over all the stuff that we did or didn't do and missed. Yeah, gold started out, pretty messy. And there was one shorting opportunity right here that we missed. We took this long right here. I should have had my stop at break even on that one because it was a momentum long trade. So when it got up here, I should have had my stop at break even. But I didn't move fast enough, and it stopped me out. And that was all we had on gold today, really. During the break, was there anything? Yeah, over here. This bounce right here off the BBC was a valid trade during the break. Okay. The euro. Now, any day that there's a ton of movement in the pre-market, like there was today, usually the rest of the day is going to be kind of a mess. In the euro today, there was one shorting opportunity here that I didn't get filled on, and a long opportunity here that I got to break even on. And then and turned down and put in new lows on the day. Looking at it from over here during the break, it looks like there was a bounce off the BBC right there that you would still be sitting in. And, you know, I was thinking things might loosen up a little bit during the break, but they did not today. Now, crude oil was all over the place today. Okay, and it had a ton of pre-market activity, but I was reading an email and I missed that one, and that one, and that one. And then it turned around retracing, and I picked up 10 ticks there. That's where we got the goal for the day. Okay, and I missed that one, and I grabbed a couple more ticks there to put us at plus 12. I missed that one, that one, that one. Then I stopped out on this, pretty much to the tick. And I had a break even there and a break even there. So there was so much left on the table today in crude oil. Again, crude is my favorite market. If I had just one market to trade, it would be crude oil. Looking through all this during the break, doesn't look like there was really anything. Not today. The ES didn't give a trade setup all morning. Okay, it just got stuck at this zone, and I was afraid that's, when it did get there, I was afraid that's what was going to happen. It was just going to get stuck there. Then we're all jammed up in between the high of the day and the weekly trading zone and dynamic resistance right here. At the time, the high of the day was down here. And, well, that was it. During the break, there was nothing on the ES. Didn't give a trade setup all day. One good thing though about the ES though, here, I'll show you this. You may remember on Monday, I said look at the 31.75 calls. At that time they were $75. Now they're $275. Okay, that's one good thing. And I also said look at the puts on crude, and that's not working out yet. But we're not done yet. Okay. Jump back over here. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you could read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 6th day of December, 2019. So far, we have 4 ticks on crude. We lost 8 ticks on gold. That puts us at minus 40 on the day. Today it took 24 minutes and 1 trade to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $100 a contract, and we took a total of 6 trades. So on the month now, that puts us at $577 over 5 days, averaging $115 per day. On the year, $34,412 over 222 days, averaging $155 per day. Okay. Let me minimize that and bring this. If you have not taken the free trial with us and you want to take the free trial with us, go to the homepage at CFRN.net. In the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net. Click on that and you'll be brought to this page, where all we ask for is your name, your email, your phone number. Hit register now and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the free trial. Okay. Okay. With that, we can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona. Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready. Okay. Dwayne's not ready. Anyway, we just broke dynamic resistance here on gold, and it's starting to pull back, so you may get a trade set up here. Okay, right there. This would have been a long there on the euro, right there. And crude oil, sadly, is just going sideways now. The ES, same thing. these markets may be worn out right now. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody? Questions? Okay. You see, we are getting a pullback here on the gold.
Whoops, sorry.
Oh, there he is. There he is. In Studio A.
In Studio A. Are you ready for me?
Yeah.
Well, here I go. What happened this morning, I was in and out of the room. Keurig broke, and so that's sort of the Reeves version of a national emergency. So I've been ferrying coffees back and forth from the Circle K. But anyway. The tough life, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's horrible. The Keurig broke. Jada just, she just warms up water in the microwave and drops a Folgers bag in it. That would be easier than going to Circle K every time. Probably a lot less expensive.
Certainly would. All right, so this is the daily chart. We've already taken a look at that. We understand what price is trying to do. It's trying to challenge the all-time historic high. Okay, now let's say it's successful. We're going to grab our Fibonacci extension tool, not our retracement tool. I'm going to go from this swing high, that swing low, to that swing high, and then I'm going to connect that to the pullback swing low. Now, this number right here, we're already at a 24% Fibonacci price extension. A 38% price extension takes us up to basically, we'll call it 31.85. Now, let's look at our monthly zones for the S&P. First day of December, we opened up into a monthly zone, sliced through that zone, consolidated here. That's what you will see most often when price encounters a weekly or a monthly zone, or the BBC, or a trade alert trigger. Most likely thing, consolidation. That's an important price, important area where the market needs to make up its mind. Will the current order flow support a move back to the zone overhead? Or are there more sellers in the order flow than buyers, which means we're going lower, and in this case, considerably lower. So buyers do come in here. They take us back up to this monthly zone. Now this is a 4-hour candle. A lot happens in a 4-hour candle. So we had much consolidation, as we expect. Then in one 4-hour candle, we went all the way from this zone to this zone. That is a 14-point move. Alexa, 14 times 50.
14 times 50 is 700.
That's a $700 per contract move. Now, for our traders who have earned the right to trade 10 contracts, that's a $7,000 move. What happens when we get there? Once again, consolidation. Okay? When price cannot move through a zone or an obstacle or the BBC or an alert trigger, it's kind of like the little Mario guy. When he does the walk and he gets to a door, rattles the knob, can't get through, he turns around and goes the other way. So when we can't get through resistance, the market is going to return to support. As we were approaching this zone at 31.01, which also happens to be this week's lowest weekly trading zone, buyers came in early because any trader who missed this move, if they're self-employed, they were just nauseous. if they work for a bank or a fund or some institution, they were probably called on the carpet and they might have even been handed their pink slip. So when price got back into this area, buyers did what buyers often do. They came in a little early to make sure they did not miss this run right here. After the consolidation, price takes us right up to that monthly zone overhead, and now we're even making a run at the next monthly zone, which is right at the all-time historic high in the S&P 500 Emini Futures. So I've shown you daily, I've shown you the monthly on a 4-hour chart. Let's drop now to my go-to chart, 30 minutes. Last night, we had a bullish cross right here. Now, this important point that we discussed during the workshop, if you're a partner or passport holder and you missed last night's workshop, fast forward up to this point. We had a very lengthy discussion here about what would happen. Okay, price rallied up to the BBC, and remember, as long as price is below it, we anticipate lower prices, but once price gets above it, we anticipate higher prices. So there was a huge battle here between buyers and sellers, lasted 4 hours, but on the following, 30 minutes, this is the 30-minute chart. On the next candle, price took out this swing high, took us to the next weekly trading zone overhead. We have blue and climbing. We're above the BBC. We consolidate as we expect at the zone for 1, 2, 3 hours. And here we go. Price takes off. Remember, we're above the BBC. And in this case, we're also above blue and climbing. And that tells us the market is trying to get to the zone overhead. Price is always trying to get to a zone. What we teach you is to discern which zone it's currently trying to get to. We discussed on the show last night that there was a potential obstacle right here and an obstacle right here. We discussed that if price could reach up and overcome those obstacles, then we had open season all the way to the zone overhead. But what happened? We hit the obstacle. We could not get through it on the first pass. Remember, when price can't get through resistance, it's going to go back to support. We always expect the BBC to be good support when price drops to it from above. We go from resistance to support, back to that same resistance, back to support, back to resistance, back to support, and right here, this candle, when we took out this swing high, this obstacle, it brought this trigger into play, and from 31.29 up to the zone at 33, that's a 4-point move, $200 per contract traded. But look what happened. There's only 3 things that happen at a zone. The least likely is what you see here. It's called a slice. And on that slice, we continued higher to the next zone, 31.45/46, consolidated for an hour. We're now on our way to the next zone, 55.56. On this alert, did we have an initial target? Yes, I'm going to show you. Did we have a trade 2 target? Yes, we did. Are some of our traders still in the trade? Yes, they are. Why? because the chart has not yet printed an exit signal. Here's what it's going to look like when this move has run out of steam. Price will begin to walk sideways, and as you can see, it already has, right? The step line, this black line, you see how it's on the left of blue and climbing? Now that it's crossed over, what we're waiting for is the first red candle to close below that step line. That will be the official exit signal. Now let's look at the exact trades. I'm going to bring up last night's alerts. So if you'd like to grab a screenshot, feel free to do so. Okay, here it comes. Got them out last night, 8:50 p.m. Eastern. I always try to get them out to you between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. This is our static report. We also have another complimentary alert service, and by complimentary, I don't mean it's free. I mean the two complement each other. That one only issues alerts when opportunity presents itself in the moment. On the ES, we told all of our traders at 8:50 p.m., consider being long 31.29. Okay? 31.29 is right here. $31.29. Let me just note it. Okay. Now, initial overhead target on a long trade, the zone overhead, always a target. So from 29 to 33, there's 4 points. But we sailed right through that target with no exit signal in sight. Could you go ahead and just get out there anyway? Absolutely. This is discretionary trading. You'll learn to make decisions. And for those traders who decided that because this is an extended move, they're absolutely going to wait for the exit signal, there's no reason to get out of a perfectly good trade while it's still underway. The next zone, 31.45, current swing high, 31.50. This is a 21-point move. Alexa, 21 times 50, please.
21 times 50 is 1050.
What you're looking at right here is a $1,000 per contract move. And it's not over, because you see what's happening? We're printing a green candle, so the high probability, low risk opportunity from here, the next logical move for the market is to make it to 31.55, but we'll wait for that to happen. For now, we'll call it a $1,000 per contract move. Now this trade triggered this morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. I sent the alert out at 9 p.m. Eastern last night, so everybody had plenty of time to prepare themselves for the trade. If you are one of our traders who has been with us a while, you've followed that 2420 blueprint, you've made some mistakes. Remember, in the quest for success, there will be times when you fall on your face. But remember, that's called forward progression. So when it happens, get up. Get up. You don't lose until you stop getting up. All right? Those traders who've gone through that, they've worked hard, paid their dues, developed skills like discipline, patience. If they've earned the right to trade 10 contracts This is a $10,000 move. Now, let me ask you this. Do you know how much it costs during a day session to trade one S&P 500 E-mini futures contract? $500. There are some brokers that don't offer reduced day margins. Shame on them. We know somebody that does. 866-928-3310. That's Bert, and he's a stranger to no one. He never met a trader he didn't like. You'll like him too. I always start to call him an ex-Marine, but there is no such thing as a ex-Marine. Semper Fi. Now, if we continue this move to 31.55, well, now we're talking about, let's see, 20, so we got a 35. Let's see, from 30 to 50, that's 25. That'll be a 26-point move if price makes it all the way to that target. But it's not there yet, so let's just be happy with what we have. We'll be patient and just see how much more the market wants to offer us. I'm sure you've heard it said many times, seminars, websites, trading books, etc. The key to success is to cut your losers short and let your winners run. Okay, well that's a great tip. Unfortunately, that's usually where the statement ends. They don't bother to tell you how to actually do that. We do. We teach all of our traders everything they need to know to become a consistently profitable trader. Now, we can't promise you that you'll become a consistently profitable trader, because even though we give you all the tools and the knowledge necessary to do so, it's kind of like me teaching my son to play baseball. I can teach him how to play baseball, but I certainly can't promise him that he'll become a pitcher for the Yankees. See, once he has the skill set, then he'll have to reach deep down inside of himself as he steps up to the plate, if that's even a goal or a desire for him. And honestly, it isn't. He wants to serve his country. He's going into the military. Yes, I'm enjoying a proud papa moment. Thank you. I appreciate your patience. Okay, let's look at the Dow. We're going to move through these here pretty quick. On the Dow, last night's alert said, oh, now there was also a Concierge Trade Alert at the exact same, not a Concierge, but a Logic 247 alert 5 minutes after the one I just showed you at the exact same price. Now, when these two different alert methodologies point at the same important price, important area, it always deserves a second look. On the Dow, we told our traders to consider being long 277.35. 277.35. It's going to be right in here. 277.35. Come on. All right. 277.35. Alexa, 931 minus 735. Alexa, 931 minus 735.
931 minus 735 is 196.
Alexa, 196 times 5, please.
196 times 5 is 980.
Okay. The Dow pays $5 per point. The S&P pays $50 per point. There's typically a 10-to-1 ratio between the Dow and the S&P. What I mean by that, if you hear the guy on the radio driving home say the S&P was up 10 points today, you can almost always figure that the Dow was up as well 100 points, 10-to-1 ratio. Now the S&P pays 50 a point, the Dow pays 1.5 a point. And as our friend just told us, this is a, now I calculated that only to, I went from the entry at 735. Now see, I only clocked it to here. We have another zone that we're just about to hit. Alexa, 8040 minus 7735.
8,040 minus 7,735 is 305.
Alexa, 305 times 5, please.
305 times 5 is 1,525.
All right, if the market continues a couple points higher and we touch this target at 280.40, well, you heard what the lady said. $980 per contract traded, and the cost to trade that contract during the day session, $500. Okay? All right, let's go to the Russell. If you have any questions now, put them in the chat box. If you happen to be listening through the YouTube channel, I'm not able to monitor that chat box live in real time. So what you want to do is you want to go to our home page, click the microphone, follow the instructions, log in that way, and you'll have full access to the chat box, and we're happy to answer any and all questions. Last night on the Russell, the alert said, consider being long, 1624. Okay, 1624. And there's a zone at 2728. The next zone overhead is 34. Now these zones go out to our partners every Monday morning, 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Once they're published, we don't massage them, manipulate them, change them. They're carved in stone for the entire week. We have published these zones each week since December 14th of 2009. So we're just a few days away from our 10-year anniversary. It's pretty cool for us anyway. And I'm glad you're along for the ride. All right. So from the entry price at 24 up to 35, that's an 11-point move just to here. At $50 a point, it's $550 per contract traded. Let's go to the NQ. Now, this NQ trade that I published last night, I actually did a freebie on Twitter. I showed the trade as it had just triggered. If you go to the Twitter feed, you'll see it. There's just this one candle. Now, important prices, important areas are almost always tested. So you see how it came back, got below the trigger, triggered again, and it took us up from 32 to 43. That's roughly $200 per contract traded. And then it got below the trigger one last time. And this time, from 32 up to 402. Alexa, 102 minus 32.
102 minus 32 is 70.
Now the NQ pays $20 a point. So what you're looking at so far, because there's no exit signal in sight, that's a $1,400 per contract move. How much did it cost to place that trade? $500 if your broker offers day margins. Let's go to Crude. Crude, as you've heard Michael mention, is his most favorite of markets. And now we trade all futures markets because what we do is fluid across all markets and all time frames. 1 minute, 5 minute, daily, weekly, S&P, gold, crude, pork bellies. what we do, let me say it again, is fluid across all markets and all time frames. Are you still there, Michael, or are you on the phone? I guess that means he's on the phone.
Yeah, he's on the phone. I'm watching for John.
All right. So, when he pops back in, I'm going to have him go over with you why it's his favorite market. It can be volatile, so while it might not be the perfect market if you're just learning to trade, because we use the same methodology with all markets and all time frames, as you gain some experience, I think you'll find that you probably like it too. Our alert last night for crude said to consider being long 58.70. Okay. 58.70. Swing high 59.85. So from 58.70 to 59.70. That's a $1 move in the cost of a barrel of crude oil. For us, that is a $1,000 per contract move. Margins are higher on crude, so check with your broker. Okay? And if Berkshire broker, or you need a broker, call 866-928-3310. By the way, Michael and I don't earn a finder's fee or split of the commissions or something if you decide to trade with them. We could do that, but we don't want to muddy the water. We want to recommend Bert Schlichter and Daniels Trading simply because we think they're the best in the business. Okay? End of story. All right. $1,000 per contract move from 58.70 to 59.70. Now, what's happening is, remember I said price always reverts to the mean? That's what's happening right now. Could we fade the trade, as it's called? Could we take a counter trend trade from this spike high back to the BBC, where we're quite confident price is headed? Yes, that is a valid trade. However, I don't send out alerts based on counter trend. And the reason is because our new students who don't yet have a lot of experience in the markets, I want to only give them the highest possible probability trade setups that I know how to give, and also the lowest risk. So that's why I stick with just the trend trades, as they're called. Now, once you become a master of excellence, once you learn how to use our indicators and our methodology, of course, you're welcome to take counter trend trades. So on any given week, if you see me issue 40 trend alerts, then that probably means there was about 40 counter trend opportunities. And over time, you'll learn to find those yourself. Okay? All right, we've done the S&P, the Dow. Did we do the Russell? We haven't done the Russell. Or did we? Russell, what was that number? 1624. Yeah, we did the Russell. And we just did crude. Let's do gold. Okay. Last night's alert for gold, consider being short 1472. And that's going to be right here. And we have an exit signal. Red and falling, short. On a short trade, your exit signal is going to be green. See how the step line, it's on the left side of red and falling. We get to a weekly trading zone, and what do we expect to happen there? Well, the most likely thing is consolidation, and we consolidated for 1, 2, 3. We're on our 4th hour of consolidation. However, let me open it up so you can see it. The step line crossed right there, and we printed a green candle. The closing price, 1466.40. 1466.40. That is what an exit signal looks like. Now you can get exit signals from some joker on the internet, or some clever software, or a crystal ball, or a fortune cookie. Or you can let the market tell you when the move is running out of steam and that you should consider taking your profits now before they evaporate. It's just beautiful how that works. Now, the exit signal can never get you out at the exact swing high or swing low, because no one, not man nor beast nor machine or algorithm or crystal ball, knows that was a swing low until after the fact. So while not perfect, usually makes for a nice day in the neighborhood. Okay, we've covered all the concierge trade alerts. You know what, we'll take a look at bonds, because we got somebody in the audience this week that I believe mentioned they have an interest in bonds. I've been doing daily alerts on the bonds for the last decade. Bonds are not something I recommend for brand new traders. No, I rolled bonds to ZBH20, and you should as well. ZBH20. Okay, so these are 30-year Treasury bonds on a daily. I'm going to take that down to a 30-minute. Okay. Last night's alert said to consider being short bonds 158. And 158 is right here. Important prices, important areas are almost always tested. So 158. Oh, there's 158. Now, what's unique about bonds, there's 32 ticks to a point. Each tick pays 31.25. So a 1 point move in crude is $1,000 per contract. In other words, when price goes from 158 to 157, that's $1,000 per contract move. We did not quite make it all the way to 157. But as you can see, there was ample opportunity available, and it all came in 30 minutes. But wait, there's more. Important prices, important areas are almost always tested. What does price do? Price gets back above the trigger, and because price is approaching the BBC from below, we expect it to be good resistance. It was. It sent us back down through the trigger. Now the new current swing low, 157.17. So just calculating, let's see, Alexa, 32 minus 17. 13,
32
right?
32 minus 17 is 15.
15. Alexa, 15 times 31.25.
15 times 3,125 is 46,875.
She got a little carried away, but it's about a $468 trade. Thank you. All right. Oh, soybeans. I actually put a trade out on soybeans in Logic, and I do beans on the Concierge report every night. So let's just peek at beans and see what's going on. Okay. Beans last night, consider being long, 891. We just got there, right here. 891. Come on. 891. Okay. Initial swing high, 893 and a quarter. Soybeans pay exactly the same as the S&P. $12.50 per tick, 4 ticks to a point. So a 1 point move in beans is $50, just like it is with the S&P. I may have mentioned important prices, important areas are almost always tested. So we make our 2 point run. We get back below the trigger. Off we go again. This time we make it all the way up to $8.94. So that's a $150 per contract move. That sends us back down to support at the BBC. So we got 1 trigger, 2 trigger, 3 trigger, and here comes number 4, right here. Okay? All right. Now, let's look at Logic 247 for the week. Oh, and this screen that's up right now, let me just talk about that for 1 second. I know we have some new folks in the audience. Many years ago, back 2005, just as I was moving from the world of equities to the world of futures as a trader, Futures Magazine published an article that said 9 out of 10 new traders fail. Nobody disputed it. Sadly, everyone knew it was a fact. Now, the article, while it talked about the tragedy, it did not explain why, nor did it offer any solution to the problem. But inquiring minds want to know, so I went on a hunt to figure out why in any profession there would be a 9 out of 10 failure rate. I was able to connect the dots pretty quickly. What these 9 people all had in common was they had no teacher. Imagine this. The plumbing goes out in your house. Are you going to crawl under the sink and fix the pipes? Or are you going to call a plumber? Electricity goes out in your house. You know how to check the breaker box, but when everything seems fine there, are you going to break out your tools and, start digging around in the walls? Or are you going to call an electrician? You want to fly somewhere. You got a buddy with a nice little Cessna. He says you can use it anytime. Are you going to take him up on the offer before you have someone teach you how to fly? If you do, please, for the benefit of your family, make sure you do a last will and testament. So it's perplexing. Why would anyone think they could step into such a high-paying profession with no training? Now, granted, it doesn't help that there's all these slick websites out there, that promise you the moon and deliver squat. And for the industry I represent, I want to apologize to you. I honestly do. Now, Michael and I, we went through all the same stuff that you guys go through. We were promised the moon. We took home boatloads of squat, blew up accounts left and right, owned every doggone indicator and oscillator under the sun, and when there was no more to buy, we started creating our own. But we realized we were no closer to our goal than when we started, perhaps even further away, and certainly we had invested or spent, wasted is better, a whole lot of time and treasure. So we wiped the slate clean, and we discovered together, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, we figured out how markets really work. Now, this isn't a secret. We didn't find this in some urn, in a cave in the Gobi Desert. No. This came from our own experiences, our own trial and error in the marketplace. We put together a methodology, simple by design. There's plenty of websites out there. You probably got 10 emails this morning. Somebody has the latest, greatest thingamajig that will give you 89.275% profits day in and day out. I bet they even told you how you could turn $72 into $846.37 in just 30 minutes in your pajamas before breakfast. On behalf of the industry I represent, I apologize for that. We try to police our own industry. We do get some help from the SEC, the Futures Trading Commission, but it's kind of bad out there. And so that's why, along with creating a simple methodology, we also wanted to give you some peace of mind. If you decide you've reached the end of your rope, you don't know where else to turn. You probably exhausted all your resources at this point, but that's okay. We know how that feels. This is why we offer all of our prospective traders a 5-day trial in our live training room, 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday, no credit card required. Not only will you receive 2 hours of hands-on instruction 5 days in a row, the indicators that you saw on my chart, we're going to allow you to use our indicator set for 5 full days. Those concierge trade alerts that I just showed you, you will have access to those every night for 5 days. The Logic 247 alerts that I'm about to show you, those are the dynamic, real-time, in the moment, as it happens alerts. You have access to those too. But wait, there's more. You see, we do something truly unique. Every member of the CFRN family, every one of our traders, partner or passport holder, has unlimited access to one-on-one mentoring. When you get your backside in a sling, not to worry, hang on, call us, or just go to the mentoring page on our website. Look at my calendar, find a day and a time that's convenient for you. If it's an emergency, I'll meet you anytime, but if it can wait, just book a day, book a time. You and I'll get together for 45 minutes in a go-to-meeting environment. You'll be able to see my charts, and we'll have a conversation, much like a telephone call. Remember those? In other words, you won't have to type your questions into the chat box. As a partner and passport holder, you will have unlimited access to one-on-one mentoring for life. Now, in the beginning, my new traders usually visit with me at least once a week. As time goes by, it's every other week. Pretty soon it's once a month. And then I don't hear from them for a while, so I have to check in on them. Now, that's kind of the idea. All of your trading career, you've been dependent on some guru, some newsletter, some whatever, right? We don't want you to be dependent anymore, at least not on us. You should always be 100% dependent on God. But once we teach you what we can teach you and provide you with the tools that you need to get the job done, you don't ever have to pop into the room again. We want you to. We want you to stay connected to this vine, okay? And it gives our traders such peace of mind to know that they can go out into the world every day, stand on their own 2 feet, earn the income they need to earn. But when they hit a rough patch, there's always someone to talk with them, help them, get it squared away, and get back on track. If you've never taken our trial, 1 every 6 months, 2 in your lifetime. That's it, okay? Because we give you everything we have. We hold nothing back for those 5 days. If you've not taken the trial, go to Emini Trading School.com. That's where the journey begins. But it's very important, I think, also that you make sure you get the link and attend our webinar this afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern. Valerie, have you seen any sign of John? Oh, you sent me a message. You sent me a message.
I did.
John is here. Let me open up the box. John, I'm looking for you. And John, you got an open mic. Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Folks, after we finish talking with John, I've got a couple more things to share with you, and then we'll move into our good word for the day. So happy Friday, John.
Yeah, no, thanks to you too. It is a happy Friday because the U.S. has just like pulled another rabbit out of the hat.
And away go.
Blowout numbers. Just fantastic, actually. And I think, as I said, all the ducks are kind of lined up for a strong finish into the end of the year. And this really looks like the real deal. The next big thing, I guess, is the Fed meeting. They're probably going to say that the economy is doing great, and they may be questioned about what we've been talking about the last few days. About this so-called inflation ramp-up and other things that could happen. So even if they don't raise rates, lower rates, they could get a pretty good lift out of that final Fed meeting for the decade. So it really does look like we're going to and look, this IG report coming out December the 12th could actually throw a big loop to the Democrats. Could just take the wind out of their sails with this impeachment thing, and that could actually be kind of bullish for the market too. So
how badly do you think this is going to backfire on them?
Probably heavily. I think it's all going to come out, and it's going to look pretty bad. I think Barr is kind of just gently he doesn't like this idea of sedition, and kind of trying to overturn the government effectively. It's a pretty serious deal, and I think it's going to be addressed so that it doesn't happen again in a way that's going to make it unlikely to happen again. So because it's just getting out of control, you're going to have the next president. They made an interesting comment yesterday that if something happened to Trump, maybe if he, worst case scenario, if he did get impeached or something, that it's not a given that Pence would step in. Although it's pretty likely, but
it's not. Well, okay, legally, how does that work? What's the rules of succession there?
I don't know, but they're talking about Nikki Haley because she's got tremendous ratings, and actually, she could make a pretty good president. I think she'd be very no-nonsense. She didn't take any, she didn't suffer any fools at the UN, and she can handle herself on the international stage. And actually, a lot of people would like her, end up liking her, and I think that she could potentially mend the fences in a big way, and maybe she's going to be a front runner in 2024. So she may be the first woman president of the United States, because she'd get a tremendous following from mixed races and maybe a lot of Democrats too, and women especially. So she's a really powerful candidate waiting in the wings, I think. And we need somebody who's going to mend the fences.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting how the future could shape up. I
want to show you something real quick because I know that this will have some kind of special meaning to you. Let me just navigate over to the page real quick. Where's my page? Yes.
Yeah, I guess buy stops today that 3129, right? Is that your level?
Yeah.
Good job. Yeah.
Okay, now here's what I want to show you. I'm going to drag it up to the big screen. When my wife and I first met Pastor Chris and Agnes, they had no running water, no electricity, and 11 orphans. Oh yeah, they did have Jesus and a burning desire to build God's kingdom in a nation destroyed by corruption and AIDS. This morning, Chris received an invitation to the Uganda equivalent of the White House for a national prayer breakfast. That is the unmistakable favor of God. We had him dusted for prints, and yep, the fingerprints of Jesus are all over him and his wife and everything they do in his name. In your quest for success, you may fall on your face a few times. Just remember, that's forward progression. Now get back up. He's going to the White House. They call it the State House, but it amounts to the same thing. John, you remember when this all started? You
no, it's a great
story.
A tremendous story. You told us about it a number of times. So congratulations, fantastic job.
That is good. And those types of opportunities, they're not for select individuals like me, aging hippies with a ponytail. No, it's for every person of faith. It's not even just an opportunity. It's more of a mandate. God created each and every one of us to fulfill a specific purpose, a specific destiny. And if you're not doing it, maybe it's because you don't know what it is. Then you need to talk to the man upstairs. You need to figure out what it is and get busy doing it, because you will have never felt as alive as you do when you know that you're walking the path he created specifically for you. All right, back to you.
Thanks. I guess Larry went down there in the early days, right?
Yeah, Larry went with me twice.
Yeah, how about that?
Now, what a special guy. That this guy could have flown in his own plane, and as tall as he was, he rode in coach back there with the rest of us, with his knees jammed up under his chin, because he just wanted to be one of the guys, you know? God, I miss him. Anyway.
Well, we all do, sure. So, look, the first thing that's going on today, apart from the raging markets, is, and I think I said a couple of days ago to buy cotton at about a 65. It's sort of pushed up
about right. I'll bring up a cotton short.
Yeah, and it's just hit 66 and sort of a half today by the looks of it. Not a bad trade.
No, that's great.
I'm going to show you some eye-opening trades in a minute that we had in mind this morning.
Now, are these products of your new system you've put together?
Yeah, this is going to be. Listen, if you really, if you had the money, then you could afford the stocks that I'm recommending. You could potentially make about 30 grand today already. So, thanks. So the cotton is on the way, and copper is up big time today. And we've talked about the copper going higher. I think we said 275 target. It's at 273 right now. So, and I think if we get to 275, we're probably headed back to 3, and up to 340 is our next major target for copper.
Here, let me clean this chart up. All right, here's a daily of cotton. Oh, this contract, John, I only have end of day data.
Yeah, well, you can see we're at 66 and a half already, so you can see where it is, kind of thing. It's right up there.
Okay, it's right up on this high.
Making new monthly highs, and so going into the end of the year, making new monthly highs is a pretty good place to be. I've seen cotton before rally big time in December, so a couple of times actually.
That's monthly right
there. Yeah. No, it looks very good. You can see the possibility of this thing really it's got a huge base on it,
and
look what look where copper went back in 2011. That was sort of when inflation was raging and gold went up to 1900. So it's
did
probably
you just say
overdue.
copper or cotton?
Sorry, cotton. Yeah.
Okay, we can look at copper though if you want to.
Yeah, if you would. Yeah, great.
Let's do that. Copper futures. What contract are you in?
March.
You're in March already?
2000.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let me put this back to a daily. All right. Okay.
Actually, that looks super bullish, that chart you had on there. But you can see...
The monthly?
Well, just before you go back to... look at that. We had the major bottom back in the 2016 metals depression, if you like. And now this thing is wide open for 375, maybe 4, maybe even all-time highs. Don't forget, you got the Internet of Things that it's going to use a ton of copper, 5G, expansion of electric cars. Electric cars have about 40% of them are copper. So I think copper's going to be a big story.
Remember our old friend Micah?
Mm-hmm.
Do we still own that mine?
No, we don't. I know you sent me something about it.
I saw an article the other day, about it was about these child miners somewhere that are being forced under these incredible conditions to mine this mica. It's very sad.
Yeah.
All right.
But it really did. I think this copper is a pretty big deal here. I think it's, I would definitely buy it on any pullback now, and probably going to have to buy it where it is because it looks like it's ready to take off, and it really could be a big move. What we were talking about yesterday with Japan maxing out, China's probably going to max out, the UK. The U.S., we could be looking at just a monumental liftoff in economic strength, if you like.
I get a 30-minute chart, John.
Yeah.
Now, guys, one penny or one tick of movement or 1 penny in the move of copper is $250 per contract. We've gone from 262 to 272. Just in the last 2 sessions, that's $1,000 per contract move.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's more than that. It's 4 cents is 1,000. So we're talking
about 1,500.
Well, I've got 2,500, I think, if I did my math.
Is it? Six. It's up 7. It's 1,500. It's about 1,500.
Okay, fair enough.
1,600.
Yeah.
Yeah. The grains pulled back a bit this morning, but they're actually got a good buy signal on that pullback today, and it's starting to head up again. The beans.
All right, let's go to soybeans. Sure.
They look pretty good.
Oh, and we're coming up on our monthly crop report.
Mm-hmm.
That should be next week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So next week we got the crop report. We got the Fed announcement. What's the Fed going to do, John? They going to give us a rate cut or not?
I wouldn't rule it out. I think they might just win one for the Gipper. Just because they're probably not going to be able to do anything in 2020 because of the election. So they might as well, just throw one in and get it over with. So it's pretty unlikely they're going to raise rates in 2020. Unless something really gets out of hand. So now, I'll tell you some of the ideas I had for buying this morning were FedEx, FTX.
All right, let's take a look. There you go. That's a 30-minute. Let me put it on.
Yeah, I noticed that FedEx was pulling, that had a late rally yesterday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think FedEx is ready for a big move upwards from here. When you get 266 new jobs, it's a lot of packages going to be sent
Yeah.
And a lot of shopping is going to be done. Walmart was another one, WMT.
Oh, speaking of packages shipping, I have a brother-in-law who works for Shutterfly. Do you know who Shutterfly is? And
Yeah.
he works at their distribution center here in Phoenix. It's just a massive operation. He ships packages all day. That's what he does. It's kind of an assembly line. Package comes down with a label. Because these people, they will print whatever you have. They'll put it on paper. They'll put it on canvas. They'll put it on a T-shirt. Put it on a mug. I mean,
yeah. I think they bought that deal from Shark Tank, from O'Leary on Shark Tank for about 14 million.
I told my brother-in-law that over Thanksgiving. I said, I'm pretty sure it's the same company. I wasn't positive, but yeah.
It's pretty similar. It might not be the same, but
no, it's a different one. But I wouldn't be surprised if Shutterfly bought him out.
Yeah. So we're not going that far up on Walmart yet, but we're up on the day. Okay, the next one is Boeing, BA. They've been knocking Boeing down for a few days, and I thought it was a reasonable buy this morning. Again, it's up a few bucks, which is
we're kind of just in the middle of this range. I mean, it's a huge range,
but could be a significant bottom. Apple, AAPO. New all-time high.
New all-time historic high.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And I got a buy signal on Facebook yesterday. We might as well take a look at that. It's funny because Facebook, even the market was down for a while yesterday, and Facebook just didn't budge. It's not going up crazy today, but it's. I think it's going to work its way higher.
Speaking of Facebook, yesterday I was in the kitchen talking to my wife. I was talking kind of low. She said, "Why are you whispering?" I said, "Well, I'm afraid Mark Zuckerberg might be listening." And she laughed. she laughed, and then Siri laughed, then Alexa laughed, and then Cortana laughed.
That's funny. Yeah. Okay. The others too, we had Google on. It might be worth taking. I haven't looked at Google in a while. GOOG.
Let's do it. But did they trade under their new symbol now? Alphabet?
I don't know. I always use Goog.
Does it still come up under Goog? Let's try it.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Alphabet.
So, all-time high by the looks of it there.
Yeah, that's what it does.
Tesla, we should probably take a look at Tesla.
Has Google ever split their stock? Do you know?
No.
All right.
Kind of, maybe getting up there again. Netflix, NFLX. They're all kind of poised to go higher here, these stocks. Amazon is kind of, have a look at Amazon, it's kind of weak right now. It's been weak for a few days.
Which one of these FANGs and others that we've just talked about, which one do you look to more so as a leader these days?
Well, normally Amazon is, but it's not leading right now. It's
could it be leading to the downside?
Could be. It's kind of troubling, actually, what's going on with Amazon. Microsoft, I think, is at a new all-time high, MSFT.
Okay.
Just about, not quite. Now, the excitement started. The big money today was available in Roku, sorry, not Roku, Intercept, ICPT. It got up to 120, which was my target.
That's been your target for a while.
You remember when I said 1550 gold, and we just like hit it a little, slightly exceeded it, then fell away. And 19.5 on silver, same thing.
Was there some negative news out or anything today?
Well, you know what I think? They announced the news, and maybe there was so much expectation built into it that it just sold off.
By the rumor, sell the fact, yeah.
Yeah, classic. And but have a look at the if you can put it down to maybe a 5-minute or a 3-minute chart.
Mm-hmm.
It was quite a dramatic day, and the work I'm doing kind of caught these moves rather niftily. Might even have to put it to a 1 or 2 minute chart to get the full story, because
I can do that.
it was very dramatic at the open. Maybe you can squeeze it up. Yeah, there you go. See that first crack?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it just like went down real rapid, but it recovered. And I've seen this kind of thing before, and so we really had the initial sell with a sell stop.
Go ahead and get that if you need to. I'll talk to the folks. All right, guys. Let me show you where we stand. I covered the concierge. I'll go into more detail in the webinar today. Make sure you get a seat at the table. Let's go to logic. Okay. Now we're in week 70 of Logic 247. The concierge. We've been around since 2005. We're in our second decade of broadcast history. We've been publishing the weekly zones since December 14th of 2009, closing in on a 10-year anniversary. Concierge Trade Alerts have been out there for about 6 years. That was after a 3-year public beta. And now, 70 weeks ago, time flies, we rolled out Logic 247. There's no mystery. It's all, Spock would be so proud. It's all logical. I teach you exactly how that works. Okay. Let me do this, and this, and this, and go to my space. Here it is. Oh, did I show you my new business cards? I got a special Black Friday deal. Like that? I do. Here's what's really cool. I didn't go for the NCF chip, but I did go for the, did you know you can create your own QR code with your iPhone with a free app? So when I give this card to someone, 12 noon Eastern, Monday through Friday, scan below to watch the show. So if they use the app on their phone, and all iPhones and Androids have a little scanner app, if they scan this, it will open their phone to the live show. I know, I'm pretty fly for an old guy, right? Sometimes I wonder if I'm too fly. Just kidding. Okay, back to reality. Where were we? Oh yeah, here. Okay. We're in week 70. This week, now this doesn't include the concierge. There's 8 markets, 16 alerts every night with concierge. With logic, it's in the moment as it happens. Whenever opportunity presents itself, that's when your phone, your tablet, or your computer is going to go dee-dee-dee. And if you've got your head on straight and prepared to trade, you go to your desk or trade from your phone. And when you're not mentally prepared for trading, you just turn off the notifications so that they don't bother you. And the good news is when you are ready to trade and you switch notifications for Telegram back on, everything I've issued while you were away has built up in the pipeline. And because most of our alerts trigger multiple times, you have what I call inventory to work with. This is why you don't have to spend 10, 12 hours a day staring at the charts. You only have to be in front of the chart when opportunity exists. And as a passport holder, you'll know when opportunity exists because we'll tell you. 45 alerts have been issued. 5 of them just simply never triggered. 5 are still working. 1 on the clock. That gives us so far 34 actionable alerts this week. 4 of those were stopped out. That's the truth about trading. So 12% of our actionable alerts this week so far have been stopped out. Now I'm going to run you down the list real quick and show you what it looks like. This is a private member access only channel, but I'm going to give you a peek behind the curtain for just a moment. Okay, last week, which was week 69, Here's what happened. Last week we had 32 alerts, 7 never triggered. That gave us 25 actionable alerts. 3 of them stopped out. So 12%, 12% of actionable alerts were stopped out last week. We averaged 20% a week. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, so the way this chart is going into the afternoon doesn't look very good. And looks like it's going to go back down, test 100, pretty sure now, and possibly could go down to about 95 maybe, where that gap was previously, and then could come back up from there. So but what I would be alert to is the possibility that this thing could rocket back up fairly quickly. I don't think this thing that came out today is negative. I think it's actually just a buy the rumor, sell the fact kind of thing. And yeah, it's taking a bit of a breather. It made a slightly higher high there than that previous high. So it's the Madrigal is, I think, it was starting to sell off a bit. It was holding up much better.
What's the symbol again?
MDGL. Yeah, it's actually up $2, so it's right up there. So it seems to be unaffected by intercept.
Oh, that's because it's a 1 minute chart. Let me put it on daily.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So once again, we're on a Friday, potentially late rally today into the end of the week, and possibly another strong, another strong week next week. The way we're sort of shaping up now.
Gotcha.
So boy, this copper is nearly up $7 now. That's one of the biggest moves it's had in a long time.
Yeah, that is by far.
Yeah, listen, I would, one of the interesting things going on today. I think palladium is just about at an all-time high again, but platinum, even though the metals pulled back a little bit because of the jobs number, I mentioned Newmont. The gold stocks are off today mostly, but Newmont is as strong as an ox, and it's only off 6 cents. It's virtually unchanged from yesterday. So, as I've said before, I think Newmont is one of the strongest gold companies, and platinum. I'd almost put a buy stop on this thing right now at around 904, 905. Because I think if platinum does go up, it's probably going to take that out, and potentially go for a run. It's getting very close to looking like it's going to go for a run. So, as far as the metals are concerned, we got another test here going into maybe. Look, I think in 2016 we bottomed around this 12th of December, something like that. 12th to the 15th of December. So perhaps a few more days of weakness, and then probably an upturn in the metals could be it. So.
Okay. All right.
Okie doke. Listen, thanks for the invite. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you at 4 o'clock on this. How do we get onto it?
I'm going to send you an email with the link.
Okay. Thanks very much.
See you then. Thanks. Bye-bye. Okay. Folks, it is time for our good word for the day. Now, we've been talking the last few days about finding God's will for your life and then getting busy with it. Today, I want to talk to you about time. In fact, I want to talk to you about your time, because I believe your time has come. Now, man lives longer today than our fathers and grandfathers and those before them. Of course, we can turn the pages back in the Bible, and Methuselah, we're told, lived to be 900 years old. But when I first met Chris in Kampala, he was about 35, maybe he was 30-ish. But the average life expectancy of a man in Uganda at that time was 45. 45. Things are changing, right? But none of us are going to live forever, not in these earth suits. We're all going to live for eternity. There's a matter of, what your address will be. But that's not what this is about. Let me quote from Esther. Nobody quotes Esther too much. Esther 4:14. For if you remain completely silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise for the Jews from another place. But you and your father's house will perish. Yet who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this. Moses began his ministry when he was 80. So if you think you're too old to do something for God, you're not. When Esther started her ministry, she was a teenage girl. When she heard the words of Mordecai, who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this, she could easily have said, hey, give me some time to grow up, get married, have some children, and fulfill my dreams before asking me to put my life on the line to save the Jewish. Not say those words. Instead, she said, stand by, we lost audio. We lost audio. I apologize for that. Somebody give me a thumbs up that the audio's back, please. Okay, thanks. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I don't know when it went out. I'm just going to pick up right where I was. When Esther goes to talk to Mordecai, she could have made up a lot of excuses as to why it wasn't the right time for her to be out trying to save the Jewish people. But instead, in Esther 4:16, here's what she did say. Go gather all the Jews to be found in Susa, and hold a fast on my behalf, and do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. I and my young women will also fast as you do. Then I will go to the king, even though it's against the law. And if I perish, hey, I perish. That's a pretty brave teenage girl. Let me tell you about some other brave kids, just for a moment, just a side note, a sidebar, if you will. This is so humbling. Every Wednesday, not at our request. In fact, I've tried to encourage otherwise in a gentle way, but I don't want to get in the way of God's will. Every Wednesday, the kids at New Hope Orphanage, over 700 of them, fast for you and I. For you and I. Now you might say, well, they don't fast for me because, goodness, I've never even met one of those kids. Oh, not true. Not true. You see, the kids at the orphanage, they look at the things that my wife and I have done in partnership with Pastor Chris and Agnes and all of the others who've come together to be a part of this miraculous work of God. So when I say they fast for you and I, they know about CFRN. They know that God uses CFRN as a ministry to be that clarion call so that the world knows what's going on so that they can become involved. And this isn't begrudging. This is something they willingly do because they know it's biblical and they know that their help comes from God. It may come through us, but it's God who provides the provision. Often when God, or what God, does in you while you're waiting is more important than the thing you're waiting for. Sometimes you think you're ready, but God knows you're not quite ready yet. So what does he do? He puts you in the school of faith. That's where you learn to listen to the teacher. That's the Holy Spirit. It's that still small voice that even though it's never been wrong, not once in your life, sometimes you still pretend you don't hear it or just straight up disobey it. Shame on us, huh? The Holy Spirit will help you study the lesson, pass the test, and graduate so that God can use you. Now, it's not always a comfortable place to be, but friend, God is more interested in your character than your comfort. Missionary Nancy Cockrell wrote these words: "It was God's plan all along to bring you here to serve Him by using your gifts to minister to others for such a time as this. He has given you the grace to reflect the love and character of Christ. He has equipped you to be a light in a very dark world for such a time as this. You have a unique place of service in God's kingdom. You were created to touch lives as only you can, per God's plan, and for such a time as this." So as we wrap up this week, here's the question. Is God telling you today that your time has come? Is God telling you right now that you were created for such a time as this? That's our good word for the day and for the week. Per the CFRN charter, you must spend quality time with your family this weekend. Of course, I'll see you in church on Sunday. And oh, by the way, for those of you in the audience who do reside here in the greater Phoenix area, you know you have an open invitation to come and worship with me and my family and my church family. Beautiful little place up on South Mountain. Praise City Church. You can Google us. You can just show up. You can message me for directions. If you need a ride, I'll send somebody to get you. I would love to do that. And come a half hour early. We have some of the best coffee in town. A few donuts. I mean, come on, it wouldn't be church without donuts, right? But if you got kids, we also have fresh fruit. We have some healthy stuff. And our worship team, well, you've seen the video clips I put on Facebook. People pay big money to listen to that kind of talent. But we're so blessed because we get to worship in that atmosphere every Sunday. Won't you come join us? If I don't see you in church Sunday, I'll see you this afternoon at the webinar, 4 p.m. Eastern. And after that, I'll see you Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern, at the GlobeX Open. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.